I'm Abby from the product marketing team here at Houzz. Today, I'm going to be teaching you about a new feature for our selections tool called Placeholders. You might be wondering, what is a placeholder? A placeholder is going to be like an item that you would typically add to your selections board, except this is just holding a place on your selection board for you to later fill in with an actual product. You can see one on my screen here, and I'll also walk you through how to create these, how to replace them, but let's take a look at some of the basics of the actual placeholder. Up at the top, you'll notice the little blue icon that says placeholder. That's going to help you to know which items are placeholders, which items are not. You can also see when you hover, there's a drop here to replace functionality. That's going to allow you to drag and drop items to replace those placeholders. You'll notice that the background is blue, another indicator that this is a placeholder. And then below that, you'll want to notice the price and the quantity, because if you put that information into the placeholder, once you replace the item, that quantity will continue to remain throughout. So that way you save that information. Choose to include this placeholder in your budget. So if I click include in budget right here, you'll notice up at the top of my budget bar, it added this $1,000 worth of subway tile into the overall budget for this board. Now you can see my example here for subway tile, but let's create a placeholder together. So up in the top right-hand corner, I'm going to click my items. Then I'm going to click create and placeholder. Now, it's very similar to creating an actual item. We'll first want to choose our cost type. So we're going to do product, and I'm going to do bathroom sink. Okay. You can assign a category. If there's a vendor that you think that you might be purchasing from, you can also add that information here as well. Any descriptions, like maybe you want this sink to be a vessel sink. You can add all of that information in here just as notes for yourself. You can input a targeted cost. Maybe you want to spend $400 on this sink total. You can put in all of those details here. And then up at the top right, you're going to want to create an image for it. Now you saw this AI generated tile icon in the background of the subway tile example. Now let's try again and create something with AI for this bathroom sink. Now AI is going to use the title that you put here to generate a similar image for you to use on your board, or you can upload your own image. Once you hit generate with AI, it will take between 15 to 30 seconds for our automate system to build you a generic looking bathroom sink to be able to use for your placeholder. Now you can upload your own, like I mentioned, so if there's a specific look that you want to achieve, so that way when you show your clients a list of all the things that need to be selected, it looks exactly how you want it to, you are more than welcome to upload your own. I'm good with how this looks, but if you didn't like it, you could just simply adjust the name, like maybe you wanted it to be more specific because of vessel style sink. Let's say you could adjust right here and say vessel bathroom sink, and it could regenerate that for you simply by clicking this little sparkle icon again. We're going to leave it for now and then just hit create, and it's going to go ahead and add that placeholder directly onto our selection board. So you'll see right here, I have my bathroom sink, $400, and I actually need two of them. So I'm going to go ahead and hit 2. And you'll see that that number duplicated just as it does for an item, and that will be important for future reference as well. So there's a couple of different ways that you can replace a placeholder. You can do so from this right rail and also from the Houzz Pro Clipper. I'm going to show you from the right rail, and then I'll also show you from the Houzz Pro Clipper. So I know that I have a category in my library for sinks. I'm going to choose bathroom sinks, and I want to see options from there. Okay, I like this Vox sink from Kohler, and I am going to use that vessel sink to replace my placeholder. So all you do is drag and drop, and you'll see right here, it's changed the experience. It's blue, there's the dashed line around it. It's intentionally selected and it knows where you're dropping it. You can see the price, you can see the original information, and now when I hit let go, it's going to say, hey, do you want to replace this placeholder? This action can't be undone. All of those kinds of disclaimers are going to be right here, and then hit replace, and it's going to replace that item. You'll notice that the quantity was 2 and it stayed 2 once we replaced it. You still need those 2 sinks for this full vanity, right? And so the price is adjusted accordingly, and all of the details about the quantity are saved there for you. Now, the other way that you can replace a placeholder is through the Houzz Pro Clipper. So let's go on to this Bedrosian's website. We're going to choose a tile that we want to use. Okay, I'm going to go for this subway tile here, and then I'm going to open my Houzz Pro Clipper. Now I am going to actually use our AI clipping functionality to autofill that product information quickly for me. It's going to pull in all the product details about this tile, including the price, the SKU, the color, etc. So it's just one click and all the details are saved. Now I need to replace that AI generated placeholder image. So I think I'm going to use this one because that is similar to the way that I'm planning to lay out this tile. You'll see that all the details are pulled in. I can go ahead and assign my vendor, choose my project. That was going to be the Rose residence. I can choose my room. That was the bathroom. And then once add directly to selection board is checked, you can also choose to search placeholders and replace a placeholder. So you see that subway tile is right here. That is the placeholder that I want to replace. And then I hit Save to Houzz Pro. And now we can go back to that board and it will be replaced just like magic. You'll also notice here the quantity was 100 square feet, and that has stayed true, even replacing it with a placeholder. So that's kind of the long and short of it, guys. Once you create these placeholders, you can rejects. And if you want to, you can also duplicate them to other projects. So if you create a section of placeholders that is all of the finishes that you need for a specific area, you can duplicate that into another project in the future and then really expedite the process for you. So placeholders is really, really, really exciting. This has been requested for a very long time from our customers. We're super excited about it. Something else to note is that it will show up on the selections tracker as well. So we can actually go, we're excited about it. Something else to note is that it will show up on the selections tracker as well. So we can actually go over to the selections tracker and I can show you that too. So we can create a placeholder from this view. So I can go right here, create a placeholder and create one from here as well. And let's say this is toilet. We can do the exact same process right here, create that toilet placeholder. It's going to be added into the project. And then we'll be able to replace it in a similar fashion from that selections tracker as well. Okay, now it has created that toilet placeholder for us. And so you'll see over on the selections tracker, it's again in blue. It has this little placeholder tag, so you know that this item is an actual placeholder. And then you can replace it just by clicking the item, clicking replace, and then choosing from your product library. I believe that I have some toilets in here as well, organized by toilet. Perfect. It's really, really helpful, guys, if you organize your product library. So that way you are able to kind of replace things a little bit quicker. This one's an interesting one because I didn't put in a budget for this item. So you'll see here that the cost is $436 more than what I originally allotted for. So anytime that the cost of the actual item replacing the placeholder is more than the budgeted amount, it's going to warn you just so that you're aware. I'm going to go ahead and approve it and hit replace, and you'll see that that item has automatically replaced. Something important to note, if you add a placeholder from the selections tracker view, you'll want to assign the room from the tracker view. So I'm going to do bathroom, and then you can add in that room. Really, really easy, guys. Something else important to note is that you can actually toggle to view just placeholders. So if we had placeholders on this list, we could see all those placeholders and then export those out. So if you are working with a client and you need them to make some selections on their own time, you can send them a list. If you filter to just view placeholders, you can then use the export functionality to export those placeholders out. But yeah, we hope that this feature really helps your workflow, expediting the selections process for you a little bit. And as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We appreciate your feedback.